So, as you can already tell by the title of the video, today I thought let us talk about something that I've been quite pondering a lot, something that I've heard people mention a lot as well, and that is being a wife material. So, it got me thinking. Am I a wife material? Is that even a good thing? What does that even mean? So I thought before we can get to that, let me just share with you my experience as a Xhosa Makoti, or just a bit of a background story to when I had UTSIKI. So some of you know obviously that I'm married. I've been married to my husband legally for 3 years now, and 5 years traditionally. So I had UTSIKI in 2016, which was 5 years ago. So it was just a few days after my husband had paid the second installment of ilobola. So his family asked if ndingangeniswa as umakoti or umfazi wakwaSomi. To be quite honest with you, that was not really ideal with me, because after my ilobola, I wanted to go and have umembeso, amabaso, a white wedding, then a traditional wedding, which is then I would be welcomed as umakoti. But the request was welcomed by my family, and I've seen a lot of people doing this because really traditionally, if ilobola has been paid, you are now officially umakoti. So I think 3 days, on the day that they came to pay sort of like the final installment ilobola, they asked the same request. And they were saying that we would like to have UTSIKI for her in 3 days' time. Now my head was spinning, because firstly, this is not what I wanted, and secondly, now this had to happen with immediate effect. But luckily, it was during the December holidays. So my sisters were there and everyone was back at home. So we had to do this during the December holidays, which is really not the greatest time to have UTSIKI, because everyone is back. For me, I just don't like ceremonies in December because it's too busy, everyone is there. But anyways, that was my lot in life, so that happened. Okay, so now that when that happens, so you obviously need to have abantu abakhapayo or makotshana per se. So people that are going to help you there, because you can't do certain things in someone's house until you've been welcomed as umakoti. So the first night that you are there are certain things that you can't do. There are certain places that you can't go because you have not yet been welcomed. So you need people that are going to help you. And for me, that was my sister and my neighbor and friend. So guys, these are people that have done this for the longest time. They came highly recommended. They came highly experienced. They had more experience than me. But lucky for me as well, beginning of the year, which was January 2016, I had the privilege of ukapa, a good friend of mine. So I did know exactly what is expected and what is so not expected. And my sister had gotten married a few years ago. So I would say that I did have an idea of what is really expected for UTSIKI. And the fact that I was marrying to someone of the same culture, someone from the same town, I do have to say that that also came to my advantage, because not a lot of things were foreign. So I think within those 3 days, I was able to organize izinto esizoziphatha, izinto esizohamba nazo. I was able to organize the food that we were going to prepare when we get there, my attire and all of those things. So I was able to do all of that within that 3 days. So then on the day, no. So then the day before UTSIKI, my husband and abantu bakokwabo, they came to fetch me. This is another thing. I don't know if that's how it is with all families, but ekhaya funeka bakulande. So you don't just drive yourself there, which is something that was foreign to my husband, because we're like, okay, when are you coming? So my sister is like, we're waiting for you guys to fetch us. It's like, why can't you drive? And we're like, no, we don't actually do that. You have to come and fetch us. So lucky for them, it wasn't really a big distance. So bazosilanda ke with all our things, all our pots and all of that. So when we got there, before we left the gate, actually before we could even leave our house, they had to pay, I would say intlawulo for a lack of a better word, but they have to actually pay something so that they can say that we are phuma ngokokweni, which was something again my husband was like, what are you doing? We just come. So they had to pay imali yokuba sibavulele igate, then bese siyahamba ke. So they paid that in the car. It's my husband and the family yakhe and mna and omakotshana bam. So when we get to my husband's house, again they had to pay uba singene ke ngokwe-gate. So they paid and then sangene egeyithini. So ebusuku, obviously we had a dedicated room for myself and omakotshana bam. We had a dedicated room. They served us food there, and then yonke lonto leyo we slept. The following morning, now this is where really the hard labor begins. This is where I think it's a difficult time for most people, because you wake up very early in the morning and you have to go and fetch water. My family, my family-in-law was very lenient. Shame you didn't do the whole thing of having to go to the river. So then we went and fetched water at Epini, because they have tanks, they have boreholes, so I didn't really have to go to the river. But I came with my own buckets or ENMR, so I would use my own buckets. So this is another thing that is important, is that before you are welcomed, you use your own things. You can't use their things until you are really welcomed. You can't use their own things. So we woke up very early in the morning with my sister and omakotshana bam. We sivuke ekuseni sayokha amanzi sahlamba, and then we changed into our clothes. So the other thing I need to mention is that xa unyathela emagcekeni omntu as umakoti on that day before utye utsiki, you're not allowed to go alone. So I remember this other time, I was just, my husband's yard is actually very big. So this other time I was just going there from one house to the other. And my sister was like, what the hell do you think you're doing? Uyaphi ungakhatshwa. So whenever I would need to leave indlu le besibekwe kuyo to indlu enkulu, she has to accompany me. One of them has to accompany. But awuvele udwayize esigcakeni as umakoti, you don't do that. So lucky for me, guys, I had people with experience. So we did that. We woke up in the morning, and then again so I know some people it's different, but for us, I think it's the first thing we did. I can't quite remember, babes, that's the first thing we did in the morning, ne? Yeah, so in the morning, bayakunxibisa. So xa bekunxibisa, they have to explain to you as bekunxibisa, okay, this is what this symbolizes, this is what that means. I'll try and find a picture of what I wore. But no, this is what it means, yonke lonto leyo. So again, guys, so again, then in the morning, I'm waiting for someone to anxibise, akho mntu ozayobanxibisa. So my sister goes and like, okay, guys, we're waiting ngoba nxityiswe. So my family laughs. They're like, but why can't she dress herself? My sister is like, no, this person has never been married before. She doesn't know what to do. She's never been married before. You guys need to tell her, you need to dress her, and you need to tell her as you put on something what this symbolizes, what that means, and all of that. So luckily an elder in the family came, and then and then they explained to me, because even ikeshemia, guys, there's a certain way that you need to tie it. You don't just there's a different way based on how long you've been married. I think ilqala ngapha lize ngapha then lize front, but again that's the whole symbolic thing. They explain that to you what it means and yonke lonto leyo. So we did that, and then in the morning we woke up to make tea, which is one of the worst things. Like, guys, I don't like that. I don't like making tea. So savuke ekuseni senze iti, and it's not only for your family in love. There are other people abazileyo abazozimasa wethu, because kaloku kwamkela umakoti. So there are a lot of people that are invited. So you're not only making tea for abantu balapha ekhaya, you're making tea for everyone around. So we did that. We made tea, and then we went and served people tea. After doing it again, you have to go and cook food. So then you have to just do a full course meal. And then we cooked. You have to have your own stove in a way nipegela endaweni is separate, because you have not yet been welcomed. None of that has been done. So my other sister, and guys, this is another thing, I'm so thankful to God that I have sisters. My other sister was married at that time, and then this was my other sister who was not married. So now my other sister has come with her friends and my other friends, so they helped me with ukwenza ukutya yonke lonto leyo, we dished up, people ate. So I wouldn't really say that for me it was a daunting experience. I don't want to lie. Even the hard labor that was required there, I felt like I had help. I felt like in certain instances I also had experience. So really it wasn't a nightmare. Then you go to ekutheni ke ngoku uxhelwe uthelwe ngenyongo uyalwe. I don't know how to say these things in English, guys. But they slaughter uthelwe ngenyongo, and then there are words of wisdom or advice or whatever it is, since now you are becoming umakoti, and then they give you a name. So that's where actually the naming of umakoti comes from. Once now you've done all of this, so uyohlaliswa phansi ke ngoku. So I did that ke ndathelwa inyongo, ndaphiwa igama, which was Yolata. And as far as I understand, that was different. How my family in love did it, it's different. In some families, they do that the night before. So by the time you wake up in the morning, suthiyiwe igama, sunxityisiwe and all of that, uvuka suyasebenza, but that is done the night before. But those are the proceedings, regardless of uba yeyiphi efika kuqala. In a nutshell, those are the proceedings. So the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think really I had a difficult time that day, and like ndandi right. I don't want to lie, ndandi right. I was not exhausted, and you're. So now going back to today's topic of do I think I'm a wife material, and what exactly is a wife material? So now the dictionary does not give us an exact meaning of wife material, and I think people over the years have gone to define and redefine what wife material really is. But in a nutshell, it's really when you are, as a woman, you consider to be to have the right characteristics or to have the right qualities of what a good wife is deemed to be. Now, based on where you're actually from, that could range from she is humble, she doesn't talk too much, she doesn't talk back, she's very humble, and then also she's very domesticated, she cooks, she cleans, she looks after the kids. The other one could be maybe the fact that she takes care of the home, and she knows her place. So obviously from this definition you can understand why a lot of people have a problem with this thing of being a wife material, because it fits everyone in a box, if I can say so. So based on the definition though, I would say that I'm a wife material, and I think that based on the experience what I've shared of how was UTSIKI WAM is, a lot of people would obviously say that I'm a wife material if you're looking at it based on the definition that I've just given to you. And now, is that really a bad thing? I don't know. For me, I think that a real definition of what a wife material should be based on an individual. It should be based on the guy, on what it is that he is looking for in a wife, and that is different from one person to another. We can't have a universal definition for it. The same way that what a woman thinks a husband material is very much based on that woman. So if my husband says to me that I am his wife material, I will take that. But now he can't go around dictating for certain people that this one is wife material, this one is not. We are all other people's wives, so you can't really be going around and saying that this woman is wife material, this woman is not wife material. But let me just tell you what I think, or let me tell you what my experience. Firstly, I am how I am. And growing up, I think I've shared the story as well, that I come from a family of divorce. My parents divorced when I was really young, and my mom really didn't have a desire for any of her children to get married because of the bad experience that she had. And so from that, you can already tell that I didn't aspire to get married. So marriage for me was not that thing that I really desire. I was like, if it happens, it happens. But if it really doesn't happen, it doesn't. And now when I was doing those things, for me, it was not really because I was making myself desirable or I was making myself chosen, but it's really things that I enjoyed. I started cooking from, I don't know, an age of 12 or 11, but when I was in grade 3, guys, I was already cooking. And that's because I became curious. My grandmother was cooking rice, and I was like, how do I do this thing? And she told me. By the time I was in grade 8, guys, I could cook for an entire family. And my mom is very domesticated, if I can say. And I think that I take after her on certain things. Like, I have no issues with cleaning. I have no issues with cooking, like I've mentioned. I have really no issues with taking care of the home. And I'm a homebody, guys. I don't enjoy going out. If I'm out and about by midnight, I'm like, where's my bed? So based on that, like I said, you can really assume that, okay, this one was a wife material. And is that a bad thing? So for me, I would say really yes and no. Firstly, because for me, I didn't choose that. This is my character. And it's not something that I was doing because I wanted to be desirable. And secondly, guys, my husband can do most of the things that I've mentioned. So to him, the fact that I could do all of these things was not really a major bonus. I don't want to lie. And the family that I married into, they are not that much on hard labor. Yes, you have to do what you have to do, but they have a borehole, they have a washing machine, there is a full-time helper. So if I really went into marriage with the whole idea and the whole thing of me thinking that because I'm a wife material, therefore I would excel at this thing, I think I would have failed dismally. Because really, guys, whether I clean, like I don't get bonus points from my husband because I've spring cleaned. I don't. And I don't get bonus points from him because I ironed or whatever. Okay, I hate ironing. But I don't get a bonus points for a lot of things. And I'm not that humble, which again, it's something that doesn't tick him off. So the fact that I am very opinionated, that's something that he really enjoys, which is an opposite of what a wife material is or what a wife material is supposed to be by definition. I just feel like in us redefining a lot of things, we're taking away even some of the good things that came with that. And because of how people have been abused and how the word wife material has been used in a negative connotation, and now it sounds like that's really a bad thing. But guys, honestly, from my side, if you're someone who can take care of your home and you enjoy cooking, that should be the same, that should be celebrated the same way that you are someone who achieves at work. So every character of a person or what it is that they enjoy should be celebrated. You shouldn't look down on one character and look upon on the other. If a person has made a decision that not me, I enjoy staying at home and taking care of my kids, that person should be celebrated the same way as someone who says that, you know what, I want to climb the corporate ladder and I want to thrive and excel in my career. But now I feel like we are thinking that we're always throwing the baby with the bathwater. That's what we're doing. We're throwing the baby with the bathwater. And because of what came with the negative things that came with what is deemed as being a wife material, we are just saying, boo, this thing is such a wrong thing, this is such a bad term, let's not even use it. But like I said, it should be very much based on the individual and what that person considers their wife, the characters that they want and the qualities that they want in that woman. And I've also said, I heard a lot of people talk about how marriage is not really an achievement. Whether it's an achievement or not, guys, that's a topic for another day. But one thing I know for certain is that marriage, it's a union from God. It is a God's design, it is a good thing. The fact that we are messing it up, it doesn't make it any less of God's union. And again, that's where we're throwing the baby with the bathwater, because we've messed it up. Now we are going on and saying that this thing is just trash. Cancel it. We don't need it anymore. But yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was really a sit down from my end and telling you guys what I think. It's not really imposing anything on anyone, but it's really encouraging all of us to have different choices, to not feel bad about the way that you are. Even if it's different from other people, to not feel bad about it, to embrace who you are and what it is that you want to do. And for us to all really coexist in a space where we can all be what we want to be. But guys, that's it from me. I really hope you enjoy it. Until we meet again, I love you so much. Bye.